Hello, everyone. My name is Charity Bowie, and I am with Heart Talk Life Coaching Services. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the intentional living will. Now, you may be asking yourself, is this the same as a living will? Not quite sure what an intentional living will is. Well, it's my personal take on the living will, and I wanted to tell you what it's about, the purpose for actually doing the living will, and what you can accomplish by seeing what your results are at the end. So I am going to walk you through what the intentional living will is, show you my design that I would love to share with you, and talk to you also about the benefits of completing the will and some of the questions you should ask yourself after you've completed the will to determine why you answered the way that you answered. Okay? So 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, so here we have the intentional living will. And I wanted to show you the reason why it's important, right, to take part in this intentional living will. And I think two important reasons come to mind right off the bat. The intentional living will is a visualization of your satisfaction with certain areas of your life. Okay, so it's a starting point that allows you to pinpoint the areas in your life that need significant positive changes, because you're going to rate these areas on a scale of 1 to 10. As you can see on the circle here, spiritual life, relationships, family, health, living, you can't see that, but it's living, environment. These are some of the areas that you will be rating. Okay, so that first point is it shows you in a snapshot the areas that need to be improved upon. But then the second reason that I think is very important is that it opens the door to increase your level of satisfaction in those areas that you are not aligning with your values. Okay, so that's important. Now, how do you complete this will? Well, as you can see, I'm going to pull up my pointer here. As you can see, it is a wheel that's divided into pie slices. So you have your spiritual life, health, community involvement, fun, recreation, career, finances, personal growth, living environment, and family. And you see these two blank lines here? Those lines you can fill in with areas that are not already included. So it's not boxed in that you can only use those categories. If you want to change one and use another one, feel free. But this is how you complete it. For each of the 10 to 12 areas, rate your level of satisfaction on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 totally being satisfied and 1 totally dissatisfied. Okay? Each area is based on your definition of what it means to you. Okay? So for me, spiritual life could mean church. It could mean, spending time in devotions, worship, but it may mean something totally different to you. So I left the category broad, but when you're completing the circle, it's your definition of what that area means to you. So keep that in mind when you're doing this, okay? And then what you're going to do is connect the dots for the line that corresponds to your rating. So if you give a category a 1, you see this line here, those dots, you're going to fill in the dotted line to make a solid line. Okay, and then you're going to connect that rating, that 1 or that 2 rating, to the next closest solid line. So these are your solid lines here. So you're going to connect the dot, draw up or down the solid line to your next rating, and so forth as you go around the circle. Okay. As I stated before, the 2 blank lines, those are optional. You can fill those in with any area of your life that's not already included. Okay. So next I want to show you what a completed will might look like. So let me oh no, didn't want to do that. Let me go back. So here you have two examples of a completed intentional living will. On this side, you have two additional lines filled in. I put creativity and relaxation. And as you can see, creativity here is rated a 2. Put my pointer back on here. And let's do highlighter. So creativity is rated a 2. And then health went way up here. And it's rated as a 9. That's pretty good. And then spirituality, that looks like a 6. And it came down for relationships, and that's a 5, I believe. Okay. So as you can see, as you go around the circle, your life, depending on your rating, is going to reflect how satisfied you are. And your will in totality is going to reflect an imbalanced or imbalanced will. You won't get very far with the wheel looking like this, right? But it's a great picture of areas that you could focus on to increase your satisfaction level with those areas, right? Okay. So the next circle here, let me change my pointer. Here, the lines are not filled in. So it's going to look a little different, as you can see, because I did not fill in those lines. But the headings are the same, and the ratings and the way you would fill it in are the same, okay? All right, so those are two examples of what a will look like once you complete it. Okay, so as stated before, the will is a good snapshot of your level of satisfaction with these areas of your life. And why is that important again? It's because if you're not satisfied, that's an indication there's room for improvement, right? And I like to say, if your rating is below a 5, 5 is like average. If it's below a 5, a life coach would be excellent to help you increase that level of satisfaction by working with you to pinpoint some goals, to understand your values, to understand also your life purpose and what it's all about, and allowing you to understand those things about yourself to walk in that life purpose that I believe is already innate, and you just need to bring it forward, okay? All right, so now I did mention that I wanted to show you some questions to ask yourself, very important, to ask yourself after you've completed this will, why you answered the question the way that you did, okay? So I wanna go to this next slide here. And here are the questions. After you've completed your will, these 5 questions are very important to ask. Number 1, what was your frame of mind when you took part in this intentional living will? Were you in a peaceful place internally? Was there a lot of noise going around? Were you stressed? Were you in a good place mentally? And then what influenced your rating? Was it how you personally felt, or was this an outside influence on you? Think about that. The next, do you have control to increase your level of satisfaction? That's important because that may have been the reason why you gave the rating, the rate that you gave it, because you didn't feel like you could make any changes. You would be surprised how having a life coach can bring out the possibilities of ways that you can increase your level of satisfaction. So don't box yourself in and think, well, nothing's going to change, so why bother? That's a lie. So I want to encourage you, when you ask yourself that question, to remember that there are solutions that could be beneficial and that could aid you in increasing your level of satisfaction. Okay. The next, I want you to ask yourself, how satisfied are you with your values? And how satisfied are you with honoring your values in each of those areas that you rated? And then finally, I want you to ask yourself, well, how do I start making changes? Is it important to me to start making changes? And if it is important to you, a life coach would be great, will be a great partner. I will be a great partner in helping you to start the process of making those changes. So again, if you scored less than 5 in any of those areas, I want you to learn more about how to align your values and bring about balance in your life. And you can do that by working with me in the what I like to term, what I have coined the intentional living discovery session. And that's the beginning of the intentional living journey. So if you are interested, I would encourage you to contact me. I have included, let me stop this. I have included my information on this webpage so that you can get in touch with me to learn more about life coaching, to learn more about the intentional living journey in your free 30-minute intentional living discovery session. So thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy completing your living will, and I would love to see the results at the end. Talk to you soon. Bye.